I left when I was in about 1974. There was only me and my mum left in Wheler House, so we moved in with my sister in Tottenham. Then I got married in 75, and we moved back in 1981. So, and the area had already changed in those 6 years.
Why did you move back?
Because my husband, we got a transfer, a council transfer, and he said, Spitalfields is an up-and-coming area, in 5-10 years' time this will be the place to live. And I thought, oh no, never. And it's actually not. It's not the place to live. It's not the place I remember as a child, but then, what is?
Where did you, so when you came back in 1981, where did you move into?
I live off Brick Lane, and if you go further along Brick Lane, just before you come to Whitechapel, there's Hopetown Street, and then I live in Montaube Road. See, when I was a child, Hopetown Street was Hopetown Street. There was no Montaube Road. But when they built the new houses, they renamed it Montaube Road. So, I think,
And what do you think of it now? Do you like it? Are you happy living there?
Yes, of course. I think you can't bring back the past. And I think in the 1960s, when there was this huge, what they called a slum clearance, so all these lovely, well, I thought they were lovely, all these little alleyways and cobbled streets and tenement blocks, huge tenement blocks, they were just pulled down, and these modern blocks of flats were put in their place. This was the way to go, because they all had bathrooms, etc. But yes, I think now, if those houses had been there, they would never pull them down. They would redo them and refurbish them. But it was cheaper in those days to pull them down and rebuild. But it still is, isn't it? It's cheaper to pull something down and rebuild. Yes.
So what do you miss the most about how it was before?
The Jewishness.
Yeah.
I love the Jewishness. I loved there was a little synagogue on every street. I loved the fact that on Fridays we got what we call double sessions. We left school early to get home in time for the Sabbath, and we had all the Jewish holidays as well as all the Christian holidays. Fantastic. And I just loved the food, the Bibles, and the bread and the pickled gherkins and the rushed sausages, the smelly stuff. And if you ever walked, occasionally I'd walk to school down Old Montague Street, and there was, where my house is now, was a huge chicken slaughterhouse, Jewish chicken slaughterhouse, and you'd hear this noise, this awful noise of these chickens. I thought it was great. I thought it was great hearing all these chickens, and I loved it. And they used to have all their big tubs outside on the pavement, all the big tubs of pickle this and pickle that. And if you also went down Old Montague Street, there was a tiny little alleyway called Black Lion Yard, and in that one tiny Black Lion Yard was seven jewellery shops. And my first pair of earrings I bought from a little shop there, little Jewish jewellers, and I paid 4 guineas for a pair of earrings.
How old are you?
I was at work, so I must have been, oh gosh, how old was I? I hadn't got my ears pierced quite, but I wanted the earrings. I must have been 20, maybe 20. I think I was 21 before I got my ears pierced. But they were so heavy. They were really heavy earrings. Unfortunately, I gave them away very stupidly. But yes, I miss the Jewishness. All my teachers at school were Jewish. All the children at school, primary school, were Jewish, bar about 7 Gentiles. Never ever had milk custard. You always had custard made with water, and I thought that's how everybody had their custard. Never had it at home, so I thought, oh, that's how custard has to be made. No milk. I didn't know any better.